And once again, pulled back the bit rate. We're streaming out at 1440p. Doesn't want to know about 4K. Not sure why that is, but I'm tired of thinking about it. I want to focus on the trading in the open. Obviously, it was a day where if you'd have just gone long at any point since the open, you'd be up about 100 change points, which is considerable. So, we're going to open up in about 30 minutes, 31 minutes. I'm anxious to try something else besides playing with this damn streaming settings ad nauseum. Well, it seems to be getting along with these settings. So hopefully the output is of the highest quality. Can't check that now, so we'll get on about our business here. It's 2101 local and 8:01 Central Standard Time. I'm dying to see if the flyout works when there's an order. That did not work previously, and when I was using the Chrome browser, this is the Tradovate desktop with the Jigsaw Trading Dome. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not sure whether it's the least of my worries, but it is a real handy tool. And since I can see it here, it perplexes me that it's not being captured on the stream. Don't understand it. Anyway, not certainly of big importance. but just barely see those ticks. Not very good. Okay. We're looking at the NQ on a 20 range, the NQ 5-minute. When the market opens, we'll switch to the TPO chart just for a little different reference. And we have the ES 5-minute. Our chart below, we have cumulative delta and relative volume, period. That's it. This will be a short stream just to see how the market behaves, this trading software, streaming software, the capture, etc. And I have a little something to do later this evening, and generally don't trade these holiday periods. This is more or less trying to iron the kinks out of this streaming software and all things around the streaming, the YouTube channel. Try to get that all lined out for the first of the year and then hit the ground running. We'll see what we can do here. So we are 625 net contracts on here, bullish. Just a little bit of highlights here on the jigsaw dome. This is our inside market. This is the traded through volume, bid and ask. You can see the value area in gold and the outside outliers up here. We got the POC in red and the VWAP here at 72 and a quarter, which hopefully will be just about exactly right. And there we have it. So that cross ties across both platforms gives you a little bit of a cross reference. We can clear these down. Clear these out. This inside bid and ask what traded across here at the last time we passed through. This is pulling and stacking. This is our inside bid. This is what reached across and hit the bid, and this has lifted the offer. It would not be unusual to have a move towards VWAP and the POC on the open. So about 17 minutes to go here to the regular trading hour open at 08:30 Central Standard Time. Quite hopeful that we have everything worked out here. I've been at this now for 3 or 4 days. I need to get into the channel and delete several of these trial streams to see how that resolution was working out. So far, so good. So far, so good. As far as no drop frames, YouTube isn't squawking about the bit rate or the scaling. Oh, hopefully we'll get a decent multiple scale, multiple quality output, allowing folks to optimize to their system so they can get the best out of it. The object, obviously, from my side, it's not a problem because I have a 40-inch 4K monitor. That's what I trade off of. That is what this is. And this is being scaled down to 1440p for output. So when I open this recording tomorrow, or later tonight, but probably tomorrow, to review the trades and see how everything looked and what I was thinking when I wasn't involved in the market, I'll be able to see it looks just exactly as it does here now live. on my computer. So hopefully that that quality is available to anyone who wants to see and follow along. Right now, I'm in a step 2 of the combine, TopStep Trader Combine. We'll see how get this all ironed out, and then we'll make a start, reset the start, I believe. End of last week, we took a pretty good hit, about $900 in one, I think it was Wednesday, last Wednesday, if I remember correctly. We're in a trade and everything locked up, and as luck would have it, of course, it didn't. About 3 ticks after I closed it out, before I hit the daily drawdown, it turned around and went the other way, of course. But just that's a bad entry. You should never have to hold through something like that. I was too busy playing with it. It's a demo account, obviously. It's the combine. And I was too busy playing with all these settings, trying to get things ready for the new year and the new channel and the daily live streams. So it's just strictly a trade, strictly an error on this side of the screen. Nothing to do with Tradovate or with the market. It was strictly my error. Almost up 1% here, 117 points from the open, and we gapped lower, actually. Gap has definitely been closed. This was the close, and we gapped down here. VWAP, we're right up here at standard deviation 2 plus 2, SD2 plus 2, whatever we're going to call that. We see some pullback here. Wouldn't surprise me if they start running it back towards VWAP. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Matter of fact, right at this volume here, we should be able to pull through that volume level. Let's just see what we can do here. 18. Don't want to be holding a position into the open too badly. And it's sticking right on this volume. It may tick up one more time. We'll get the keyboard ready here for the hotkeys. And we could quite obviously just open and march higher. That would be no surprise whatsoever. Generally, my overall trading psyche is to mean revert, and I tend to be more favorable towards shorts. I find that things, they go up the stairs and jump out the window, in my opinion. And that could just be a bias because of some psychological hocus pocus, or I don't know what, but yeah, that's my general bias is to consider, like in this particular instance, this has been a long uptrend, but we are at just under second standard deviation. Definitely at the highs. Here's the POC, here's the VWAP. So that would be a potential reversion to mean. That, of course, is meaningless in when we start one time framing, which is a trend. So we'll have to see how we go here. Trading a lot of volume up here in these few moments before the open. About 9 minutes here. So the stream seems to be doing just fine. So let's hope we got some settings that work. Some consolidation here at the top. Well, that'll be just Jim Dandy if this works. Yeah, we're starting to get a little movement here. Just quickly, you can see here in this in the Globex sessions that the volume area is the lighter gray and the outliers are the darker gray. POC remains red line. Then when we get the open, it'll be this volume area high, volume area low. You can see the trading range here in this shaded out box. And this Globex profile will jump to the left, as you see all the rest of these are. And that's how this works. It's called Tradovate. This particular one is a TopStep trader. It's called the TopStep trader, but it is a Tradovate platform, just branded by them for TopStep for the combine, or for the live traders who choose to use it. Funded traders, I should say. Well, that short would have been the wrong move. So this open should be interesting. We got some buyers coming in here, sellers coming in here, excuse me. But they just don't seem to have any oomph. 5 minute wants to break. ES is looking right on top of support there. This is not a day to be trading. This is a day to be hanging out with your family, doing something. I have done that most of the day. I will have a little bit of work to do after this stream, and then I will probably be around tomorrow, depending on how the quality of this stream turns out. Taking care of a few loose ends, getting ready for to take this on as a regular scheduled daily event where we trade probably 2 streams. I generally am on the market around Asia close, London open, and then, as now, about an hour before the regular trading hours opens. And I don't usually trade more than about an hour and or sometimes two in this regular trading hour session, unless I've had a particularly good day in Globex, or I may not trade at all. This depends. But trying to watch the market and let the market tell me what it wants to do. Now, blind man could see that this is an uptrend. So I'm going to have to really think long and hard about shorts. If it looks like it's going to revert down here to POC or the VWAP, okay. But by and large, a couple of things. 97% of the time, either the overnight or the Globex high or low are taken out by the regular time traders, regular hours traders, whatever you want to call them. The cash, Chicago. Now, we are, what, 10 ticks, 10 points away from, not even, 8 points away from the overnight high, which is also an all-time high. And the regular trading hours folks don't generally let a record stand set by the Globex. So it's highly likely that our move, we're going to move up past this high and the overnight high, which is where we are now. Highly likely that that's going to happen in this few minutes of the open. Definitely by the end of the night or the end of the trading session. It's a Monday. I don't see anything on the calendar. So here's the calendar of events. Nothing to speak of here, so that's a good thing. And we can just wait now for the open. Well, we would have gotten our few points. About 5 or 6 there. Ticks. Ticks, ticks, ticks. I try to think in points or ticks, not money, but that's hard to do with some of these platforms that just refuse to show ticks or points. They always want to show money. It's hard to get away from that. But if you can remove yourself, there we go, and we're open. Now you see a lag. We have a definite lag here. go for that high. My guess is they're going for the high of the day. And the all-time high would be my guess. So our opening range is 802 to 19, so 17-point opening range. They seem to be pretty tightly held here. See if we can get down here and get a little money made. And there we have it. So there's $235. Now this, aha! Now I see it on the stream. Okay, great. So that's $120 per contract. Obviously, that was just a little bit of a spontaneous move on my part with the mouse and not the keyboard. Left a little bit on the table, but not a lot. And that was with 2 contracts. So I'm thinking that they're still going to head towards that POC, overnight POC. Let's just see something here. Oh no, they're way off the ballpark. Now you see what's happened. That overnight inventory has jumped, or volume has jumped over here. And this is our current daily move now. We're trying to get some lower out of it. I think it's going to go down to VWAP is where I think it's going. And it might try to get down to settlement, but boy, that's a long way down there. They are correcting some of that inventory. Wow, the ES is just ripping face. Wow. And there was our double bottom and back up to across that volume area. Should hit the top of the value area. If it can, it's a pretty confused, busy intersection up here with the POC and the value area high, so close to one another. And standard deviation 1 is from the overnight VWAP. Now we have a certain amount of yeah. So what is going on here now? That's a little strange. I don't know why that suddenly went down to 1. There should be at least 2 blocks in here. So here's where we are so far. That was 12-second trade, 233.15. We've got a 100% win rate and expectancy of about $1.1750 on 2 contracts. So we're up 235 on the day. One trade, 12 seconds. That will probably be my only trade of this day. I'd like to kick this back into over 50. Then we're back to the starting figure for step 2. But then that's the kind of thinking that cost me $900. I was up 200 and change. This is before I hesitate to talk about this because I wasn't streaming at that point. And my goal and my promise to myself and anyone who is a watcher or a subscriber is that any and all trades will be streamed. So I'm trying to figure out just how to do that, whether to restart this over at 50,000, do a reset for 50, which brings us back to 50 and 0 trades. And then all of step 2 would be recorded in the new year. And that's kind of what I'm thinking, but it's $95 a reset. So I have to think about that. Anyway, it looks to me like the stream is holding up. So that's good. My business model is not to be an internet star. Okay. That's why you'll never see a camera in the corner with my picture or whatever else. My goal is to improve my trading. This is my virtual visual video trading journal, which I can review each and every one of my trades tomorrow, later today, whatever, next week. And with the audio over, know exactly what I was thinking as I was taking these trades and watch this market. It's amazing how differently you can see the market when you're not actively involved. In other words, when you're watching this video. And so in doing that, the journey hopefully will be helpful to other people. And that's where we are here. What I do and how I do it is an open book. This will always be free. There will never be any uh, paid rooms or stuff like that. I can't imagine why you would ever do that unless maybe you got suddenly overwhelmed by people or trolls or something. I don't know, and you'd want to keep the participation, limited. I can't imagine that at this point, and that's certainly not the goal. The goal is to be a consistently profitable trader and enjoy the benefits that brings, the freedom and the benefits that brings, and help other people achieve that same goal. It's pretty simple. Not altruistic because I am striving for this myself, right? And if I can help others, then great. And that's all there is to it. I've rebuilt I built a new PC for this exercise, and my daughter and I made a video of the parts. I didn't video the building because I don't have a proper video camera. As I said, I don't plan to have my little face in the picture. So I really have no way to record the actual build, but I have all the parts, and I'll take a picture or two of the unit completed. It's a Ryzen 9 3900X on a X570 Aorus Master motherboard. There's a Asus or GeForce RTX 2060 Super 8 gigabyte GPU. Got 64 gigs of 3200 megahertz RAM, Corsair RAM, 64 gigs, and a 1 terabyte RS NVMe Gen 4 SSD. About about it. I run a couple of Dell 24-inch 1080p monitors and my main trading monitor upon which this stream is running is a 40-inch 4K. So nothing fancy, just I think the PC build cost me it's a Lian Li 2 mesh case, which I didn't want any of the RGB and glass and all that nonsense, but I couldn't find anything else over at the moment when I wanted it to do that. And I keep the case laying down. I wanted a horizontal case. I actually wanted a test bed, but couldn't find what I was looking for, and I got bored and tired and wanted to have this built before the holiday. So that's the way I did it, and it's working just Jim dandy here. Seems to be absolutely no problems with pretty much anything. Heat. I use this headset is a LG Pro X or X Pro, however you go about saying that, whichever they call it. And that's the mic that I'm using with the Blue Voice. So I may need to end up with a table mic to see we'll see how the audio turns out. But my primary concern over this last couple of weeks and all these streams and tests I've been doing is to get the highest quality stream video out so that both myself and any listeners, would have a real crisp, sharp, clean screen to watch. Nothing more painful to me than some fuzzy thing. I'm trying to learn something or, pay attention to specific points and numbers and whatnot. And then there's some fuzzy nonsense that I can't see. So that's my goal. And you can see here that we were pretty close to our, just got that sell off. The sellers coming in and just worked slick as a whistle there. Took it across the POC down just off the open. And now they're starting to build their volume, and they're just trading this baby back and forth across the range. They gave a little head fake here and probably got a whole bunch of people long, and then just drilled them down to below the value area low. Same thing on the bottom side now. Looks to me like they're just going to trade this back and forth. We're in the market now about 14 minutes. Can't think of anything really important that I might have forgotten. I will make a couple of videos. For example, the trading platform setup, the jigsaw setup, my strategies, of which there are a number. That's on Tradovate, and these are my jigsaw basic ones. How I have the hotkeys set up. And then some philosophical things like there are a couple of fundamental truths that if you learn them or realize them or understand and understand them, your trading will exponentially improve and the stress will be exponentially eliminated from your trading. And it's something that you're very, 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 very rarely told by anybody. So I will make a video about that, about those things that they're not my opinion, they're the truth and they're facts. And for some reason, lots of people don't want to tell you that, but it helps tremendously. Those are the kinds of things that will be on video. The rest of everything else will be live streamed. And if I'm going to trade Asia closed, London open, I will fire up the stream, and any trades that happen will be reflected there. And you can always keep track of how that works with the equity balance in this case. And I got to figure out a way to block off this account number here somehow. I don't know if that's dangerous or not. I suppose it could be. Anyway, this will be a short one, as I said. We'll watch the markets here for a little bit. They're just trading this thing back and forth like crazy. Some people have made some good money, and some people have probably lost a good portion of their account, and they're just keep hammering it right back and forth. This is half back. This red area that's kind of hard to see is the TPO, point of control, and the volume point of control is right there, right here, volume POC, also reflected over here. And you can see the overnight volume here. And again, this is the ES. Pretty simple. Now, this kind of a trading range for me is a great way to get chopped up. So I'm certainly not going to do that tonight. I am going to be happy with $235 in 12 minutes. And I'm not going to take any more trades unless this thing falls out of bed or some obvious run for the all-time high and the Globex high starts to happen here. But I think I'm going to be content to take my $235 and do a couple things that I have to do here for my other company. I'm going to pull some data down from my servers and update a comprehensive Power BI report, which I do every Monday evening, my time, Monday evening, Monday period for everybody else, so that all of the other members of the company and the board of directors, etc., can see what we've done. Just banging on that value area low. These colors and things on the jigsaw dome I have personalized for myself, of course. Not much control over colors on the Tradovate platform. You can have a light platform, which is white background and everything, of course, laid over that. And this is the dark one. As far as the colors, now they're putting out the new beta charts. This is one of the original charting, and these are the betas. There's a number of changes apparently that can be done there with the beta, and right down to VWAP. There we go. So now, had I been a star, and I said it was going to VWAP right there, I could have held through all of this and gotten what I said. However, would have been another about 10 points. So, yeah, it would have been nice. But my philosophy is the shorter time I'm in the market, the less risk. And this would have been a substantial pullback, So this would have been 06 to 18, about 12 points of heat. I'll be the first to admit one of the things I need to develop is a skill to ride longer term winners. Now, this is not a situation where I'm talking about that because this is a trading range. But for example, had you come into this market, here, for example, and taken a long, you could have ridden this up for 100 and change points in just the Globex, 120 points. So that's a skill that I need to develop, and that's obviously the way to be a super successful trader. Now we're just banging on VWAP from the overnight. You'll notice that VWAP in the regular trading session is a completely different area. VWAP for the trading session is up here at 2801, right here. And we're looking to make new to push low of the day out of here, assuming the ES can fall through this high volume area. That consolidation range there, something's going to happen. Got wicks to the upside, wicks to the downside, consolidating on VWAP. What's it going to do? I would suggest that they're going to take a hit down to the POC from the overnight. That would be a likely target. Some traders in that London market could want to get down there. Well, I'm quite pleased. It looks like the stream is holding up. Pretty new to all of this, so this is a learning experience for myself and anyone else. My strategy is, I assume you're listening to this audio. My strategy, as I said, is generally mean reversion. I take shorter, more like scalp trades, have some brackets set up, and I watch the market ahead of where I'm going to go. Like I've been watching it for about an hour and a half, about an hour or so before they open. And I started trading in late 90s, so I'm not completely new to it. I'm not saying I'm a pro or was a floor guy or any of that noise because that's none of that is true. But my strategy is generally to take what I call a scalp, which is 8-10 points. Now that's certainly not a scalp in a lot of people's language, but that's what I would call it. A lot of times in a fast-moving market like we've had in the last few months, I was using bracket orders. Tonight, I did not do so. I used my Jigsaw Dome. I can hotkey on both the Dome or the Tradovate platform. Well, great. Thank you. Had to just step away from the mic there for a second. But I am going to shut this stream down here pretty quickly and get this report out that I have to do for my other company. And quite frankly, with this limited volume and just basically a trading range, I'm not going to sit here all night. I'm about 90% sure that they will try to make a new high and take out the Globex high because, as I said, maybe you weren't on the stream or or don't know this, but there's about a 97% statistic that the Globex high or low is taken out by the real regular trading hours. So, and a similar statistic to a high or a low in terms of a record. Well, in this case, we've got an all-time high and a Globex high, just a few points, 40, 30 points off where we're trading now. I'd be pretty surprised if they didn't run that up to around 830, up to say perhaps standard deviation 2 there. But I'm not going to sit around for it because I got some stuff to do, and it's the holiday season, and I'm real anxious to see how the stream is holding up and how it's looking on my end when I go back and open it as just a YouTube person. So thanks a lot for watching. If you want to know, like I said at some point earlier here, I'm in Southeast Asia, but I often trade the Asia Closed London Open, and then I trade the RTH Open as now. So, and I will not be doing any trading off stream. I find that, I see some guy that's taken a big hit, and then miraculously the next day their account is way up because, well, I traded that off stream and I did this or I did that, and I just that doesn't help me out, and it draws questions in my mind. So I will never do that. If you're interested in knowing when I am or finding out when I am streaming, then you can poke that bell, which I believe will give you a notification. And of course, if you want to subscribe, please feel free to do so, but you're definitely welcome to just listen. No worries. And I'm going to shut this off now. And be back up tomorrow. I'm not so sure about Wednesday. It just depends on the volume, but I'll be monitoring that from the Asia London area. That's you can get a pretty good read on what they're doing, volume wise, and which way they're trying to trade it in that Asia London trade. So thanks for everything, and y'all have a good trading day. If you are continuing to trade, be safe, be smart. Remember that flat is a position. So nobody says you got to trade up a storm and give it all back. And that's why I'm going to be pretty satisfied here with my $235 in 12 seconds. One trade. What can you say? Pretty good work if you can get it, right? I don't know what the hell that even. I have a calculator handy here, and I keep my office dark at night when I'm trading, but I don't know what that works out to an hour, but that's got to be pretty good wages. Anyway, and if you don't make it back by here, Happy New Year. Be safe. I hope you and your families have weathered the COVID storm. Fortunately, I've not known anybody who's had a tragedy as a result of it. A couple of people I know who have gotten it and got over it without any problems. But I've not known anyone who has had a serious hospitalization or death. that's got to be just terrible. And I would certainly hope that you have not had to experience that either. So happy New Year, and look forward to seeing you here on the stream, and hopefully provide some content and help, knowledge, whatever, however you want to call it. And that we all have a prosperous and consistently profitable 21. So with that, thank you so much, and I'm out.